All right. Hello, I am Craig Bowman. I'm part of the OPAS marketing team. I am joined here by OPAS Executive Director Ann Black. Everyone knows Ann, but wave. And we are thrilled to be joined by the one and only Texas's own Jaston Williams. Hello, Jaston.
Hello.
Well, Happy New Year to you both. How in the world are you doing during these times?
Well, considering everything, we're not doing badly. We're not doing badly. I'm the only one who leaves the house and have for the last year pretty much. And, if one of us needs to bite the dust, it might as well be me. That's the way I feel.
And how do you top that?
I wouldn't even try. I think we all suffered grief and loss and confusion and PTSD. And then, those of us, both artists and producers and presenters, said, hey, we could lay down and just wait, or we can all try to do something. I think we have an obligation to our audiences to give them art in some kind of way. And I think that's what we've tried to do over this past year, a year.
It's crazy that it's been a year. Well, in the middle of all this, Jaston, congratulations. You have a new show called I Saw the Lights. Tell us a little bit more about the piece.
Well, it specifically is about the UFOs that appeared in Lubbock in 1951 that were seen by a whole lot of people and ended up in Life magazine. And for those of us who've lived in that area, we've seen so many strange things in the night, in the night sky and in the night in general, that it seemed worth creating something about. But the thing I wanted to do, I always go back to the source. People ask me why I always write about Texas, and I said, I just don't know anything about corned beef and cabbage. I have to write about those I know and what I know and from where I came. And that Lubbock crowd, oh my God, there's nothing like them. It looks real calm on the surface, but it isn't. It isn't. And the weather is so nasty, you just stay inside with the other crazies. A whole lot of fun. It can be a whole lot of fun. I know a guy in Lubbock who has prairie dogs for pets in his house, and they get a new couch every year because they burrow. And you go over there and you'll see this little prairie dog stick its head up. You have to be careful where you sit. And I knew a guy in Lubbock who could get any wild animal in the world delivered to Lubbock. He could do anything, and there was a market for it. I'm not making this up. A wild cat in the bedroom. I am not kidding you. A wild jungle cat in the bedroom. Tiger King. Oh, please. Oh, please.
Well, and after that, I don't even know how to ask you this question, but when you heard about I Saw the Lights, you had to show it to our audiences virtually. Why was that so important to you?
Well, first of all, let me say, I think your Lubbock humor will go over very well in College Station.
Oh, yes.
Because we know those people too. I think we as presenters very often think about ourselves and what is this going to do to us, and what is this going to do to our finances and our whatever. It's all about us. And I always try and think about what this means to them. And not that we didn't suffer some loss, all kinds of loss, but we have a pretty healthy reserve, and we weathered this financially. But a lot of our friends on the other side of the industry have not. And, we've been unable to present, but they've been unable to work. They've been able unable to perform and put food on the table for their families. So I felt a real obligation to reach out to those ones that were trying to give something, even if it was in a square little Zoom box, that we support them and that our audiences buy tickets. These are not expensive tickets compared to coming to a live performance, but it's helping them as well as helping us to continue to serve our audiences in some way.
I think that has lost a lot is all the artists out there who have just, had to stop working. It's just
They're really hurting. And, part of the deal with doing this show was we really wanted to recreate something that was theater. Even though we did film it, we wanted to recreate the theater experience because people are missing it. And it's this the longest period I've gone in my life without performing live.
wow.
And that really slaps you in the face a lot. And knowing all of these friends who do not have work, all of these people in the industry, when we did this, we provided work for about 15 to 20 people to get the thing together. Designers, cameramen, directors, a lighting specialist, computer specialists, everything you can imagine. And that's been the main thing about it. I don't know that we will make any money on this, and that doesn't really matter to me. We did get money in people's pockets, and we're really trying to create a theater experience. And it was like learning to walk again. Because you thought, well, you're doing the theater, and a lot of this is comedy, not all of it. And as someone who's made my living in comedy all my life, it's a little tricky when there's no one out there to laugh, And then I just had to tell myself, if you think this is funny, okay. If you're laughing in your mind, okay. But we wanted to get something out there. We know people are going stir crazy. Yeah. And again, I wanted to write about the people I know. I wanted to write about the people I know. And for all of its insanity, Lubbock is a very, they talk a nasty game, but they're pretty kind when you get them, when you get them alone. I remember being at a party there several years ago at a crazy woman's house. Even by Lubbock standards, she was crazy. And she was having a party, and there was a knock at the door, and this elderly man said, I ran into a car here on the street, and he was going door to door, and it was my car. It was a rental. And I said, well, you could have left a note. He said, oh, no. I had to, no. He went door to door until he found out whose car that was.
Wow.
And, that says something about the people out there, many of whom I disagree with on a daily basis, but they're the kindest, tough people I've ever known in my life. They really are. They really are. And the play really connects the diversity that is out there. I mean, it takes some moxie to be a free-thinking preacher in West Texas, or a hippie, for God's sake. That's tough. That's a former Mormon hippie. Now, if that doesn't draw a crowd, I'll just quit writing,
And Jaston plays 9 characters in this piece. And, as funny as you are, and I think that's what a lot of people took away from the Tuna shows, Ann and I always remark about what a gifted actor you are to embody all these characters. And I certainly can't wait. We have a dear friend who grew up in Lubbock. And when this came out, I forwarded it to Shane and said, okay, we're going to have a dinner as long as we all test negative. It would be a socially distant dinner, but you're coming over because I have to watch your reaction to Jaston's performance in this. And go ahead, Ann.
Well, I was just going to say, Jaston was quick to tell me that this isn't satire. And I think it's important because we all love Tuna, and we've presented Tuna for 15 years and everybody loved it. And these characters are obviously funny. You can tell that from the sizzle reel on our website. Right. But Jaston, can you tell us a little bit about the difference?
Well, in satire, you're trying to make a point about an issue or a subject or something. And so you take it and you amplify it and you make it a little crazier than it might actually be. That's become a lot harder the last few years. Satire has become a lot harder. In the last decade, it has. I didn't want to write about issues. I wanted to write about people. Now, issues or their thoughts or their convictions come out in it. There's a character in it that I really love, and she's right at the very beginning, and she saw the lights, but repeatedly, but she doesn't believe it because it goes against her upbringing.
Oh, wow.
It goes against her upbringing, and she doesn't believe it. And there's something very, and she's sad and she's scared, but she doesn't believe it. Then there's another character that came out there. She came from Connecticut because she hated trees. She just had grown up in heavily wooded areas and she hated trees. And she heard about Lubbock and said, so she went with her family to Dallas to a convention, and she hitchhiked all the way to Lubbock and got admitted to Texas Tech and wrote a hot check for her tuition. And when her father found out about it, he covered it because she said Episcopalians don't write hot checks. So, and that's not satire. That's a fact. Episcopalians don't write hot checks.
I've heard that before.
But the diversity of characters out there and what they live through, it can be a very rugged place. The weather can really drive you inside. And yet conversation is an art form out there, and it still is. When I was growing up out there, the best entertainment was somebody telling a story. Was somebody telling a story. There was an old boy lived outside of Crosbyton. A friend of mine went out with his father to this old boy's house, and they were talking about what it's like, living out here in the canyon, and he stomped on the floor and about 50 rattlesnakes started buzzing. He said, that's like, but I never have a mouse problem. So, where can you find that? That's not satire. That's, I don't have a mouse problem.
I love it.
So, but I always, talking to Joe Ely, who's a good friend, and his wife Sharon, good friends of mine, and they were so, he always goes back out there. He always goes out to West Texas before he starts a new album.
Oh, wow.
There, and we, and I do too. Once I find something more interesting to write about, I will. I'm not holding my breath.
Well, I know we can't wait to see this show. Anne, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I was just going to say, the same way we've tried to reach out to artists who are our friends, you reached out to Texas presenters to launch this piece. And I think it's fitting and wonderful that so many of us have said, yes, we're in and we can't wait.
Well, it's an honor to be back. I always love performing in your theater, and I love performing on your screens. We'll look for the time when we can all see each other, but thank you for the opportunity. And what has gotten us through this is friendship. It's gotten us through it.
Absolutely.
I totally agree. Well, the virtual premiere is happening on Friday, January 29th at 7:00. There are 2 ticket options. One is a general ticket and the other is a VIP ticket, in which you'll get some behind the scenes stuff and some Q&A with this very talented man. And why would you not buy that? That's what I bought.
Is more fun than humans were meant to have.
All of this information is available at mscopus.org. Anne and Jaston, thanks so much for joining us. I can't wait to see you both again in person. Until then, stay safe and healthy. And above all, let's keep making art.
I think
you both have something else to say.
I have something else to say. I think it's important that we tell people that that link is good for 48 hours. So
Yes,
you do
yes,
not
that's
have to be sitting at home on Friday night if you have something else to do.
what else do you have to do?
Well, I don't know, but you'd be surprised how many people are out there doing stuff on Friday
I'm
night.
just
So it's good for the weekend. So if you can't see it on Friday night, you can watch it on Saturday morning or Saturday night or Sunday.
right after CBS Sunday morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All
God
right.
bless you.
Thank you so much, you all. We'll talk to you soon.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.